Hello. If you've found yourself struggling to switch off after a long, emotionally draining day at work, well, you've come to the right place. We're going to explore how to handle this, not as some problem you just have to tough out, but as something we can approach with, both real compassion and a solid plan.
It so often starts with a question that, honestly, so many of us can relate to. I started a job that is emotionally demanding. I feel stressed in the evenings. How can I get used to it? Wow. That simple, really honest question, it just gets right to the heart of a struggle so many people face.
And, I just want to pause on that for a second. If that feeling is familiar to you, that heaviness you carry home after work, please hear this. You are absolutely not alone. It's a completely normal human response when your job demands so much from you, from your heart and your mind.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, the very first step is just acknowledging it. Really honoring the strain your work puts on you. To truly unwind, we have to recognize that this isn't something you just get over. It's a real weight, and it takes deliberate, conscious care to set it down at the end of the day.
So to help us navigate this, we're going to use a really powerful framework. I want you to think of it like having access to two different voices inside of you, two lenses to see through. We're going to call them the architect, that's our inner strategist, and the healer, our inner source of compassion.
Okay, so who are these two? Well, the architect is that logical part of you, right? The one that sees patterns, loves a good system, and is always looking for a practical solution. Then you've got the healer. The healer is the part that feels deeply, that trusts intuition, and really connects with emotion. And here's the thing, both are absolutely essential. The real magic happens when we learn to listen to both.
So let's tune into the architect first. How does this voice see the problem? Well, it's pretty analytical, kind of detached. It would look at your evening stress and say something like this, that it's a software bug in the ego's operating system. See, it sees a systemic glitch that needs a logical, structured fix. Problem, solution. That's the architect's whole goal.
Now, let's hear from the healer. A totally different perspective. The healer doesn't see a bug that needs fixing. It sees a pain that needs to be held. It offers compassion. It might say, your pain is not a mistake. It is an echo of an invisible weight your soul has carried for too long. It's not trying to fix you, it's trying to create a safe space for you to just feel.
All right, so let's dive into the architect's approach first. This is all about building a practical blueprint, right? A set of solid structures and clear rules that draw a firm line between your work life and your personal life.
And the architect's logic here is pretty brilliant, actually. It understands that our brains are wired for efficiency. Our biological instinct is to save energy. So our mind always looks for the shortest, easiest path. And without a clear off-ramp, the shortest path is just to keep thinking about work. So the architect's job is to design a new shortest path, one that leads directly to rest.
So what does this blueprint actually look like? Well, first you create a shutdown ritual. This is huge. It could be anything. A short walk, changing your clothes, but it's a powerful signal to your brain that the workday is officially over. Second, you schedule physical activity. This isn't just for fitness. It's to burn off all that stress-related adrenaline and cortisol. And third, you set hard digital boundaries. That means turning off work notifications, period. It creates a firewall that work can't cross.
And the architect has a few more strategies in its toolkit. Taking tiny 2 to 3 minute micro pauses during the day, that can stop stress from piling up in the first place. Another big one is managing your expectations. Remember, it takes time to adapt to a new routine. And yeah, we mentioned it before, but that simple act of physically changing your clothes when you get home, it's a powerful way to shed that work identity for the day.
Okay, so we have the architect structure. Now let's turn to the healer. If the architect builds the external framework, the healer is all about cultivating our internal space. This is about creating a sanctuary inside yourself, a place where your emotions are not just allowed, but are truly welcome and heard, without any judgment.
The healer speaks a different language. It's the language of the body, of sensation, of feeling. It doesn't command you to relax. It gently invites you. This quote is a perfect example. It's an invitation to use your breath to communicate a profound message of safety deep into your nervous system.
So what are the healer's core practices? Well, it suggests two really powerful ones. First, journaling. This is about getting those swirling feelings out of your head and onto the page, giving them a place to live outside of you. And second, just 5 or 10 minutes of deep breathing. It sounds simple, but it can act like a hard reset button for your entire nervous system.
And building that sanctuary isn't just an internal job. It's about your environment too.
Sharing what you're feeling with someone you trust, that makes the weight so much lighter. Intentionally creating a calm space at home, maybe with soft lighting or gentle music, sends a clear signal to your body that it's safe to unwind. And most of all, the healer whispers, be patient with yourself. This isn't a race, it's a process.
So now we have these two perspectives, the architect's logic and the healer's compassion. And you might be wondering which one is right. But the secret isn't choosing one over the other. The real paths to balance is learning how to integrate them, to get them to work together as a team. I think this metaphor just says it all. The architect, with all its rituals and boundaries, builds a solid, sturdy bridge to get you from your work self back to your home self. But let's be honest, just because the bridge is there doesn't mean it's easy to cross. That's where the healer comes in. The healer's compassion and emotional support is what gives you the courage to actually step onto that bridge each day and trust that it's safe to leave work behind.
So this brings us to maybe a new definition of emotional health. It's not about being stress-free. It's about fostering this constant, balanced dialogue inside yourself. It's the ability to ask both, okay, architect, what structure do I need right now? And also, okay, healer, what does my heart need to feel safe?
And look, sometimes getting that dialogue started is really hard to do on your own. And that's okay. That's why reaching out for professional help from a therapist or a counselor is never, ever a sign of weakness. It's a strategic move. It's bringing in a skilled facilitator to help your architect and your healer finally learn to speak the same language.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. In your own life, right now, which voice do you tend to listen to more? Is it the architect, always looking for a plan? Or the healer, focused on the feeling? And just imagine what new possibilities, what new kind of balance might open up for you if you started to consciously make space for both.